Hello everyone, welcome back to another Warhammer battle. This is going to be a 1v1 with me bringing the Skaven versus the Lizardmen. For my army, I wanted to try and do a plague theme, I guess, kinda. So the front line is made up of 5 of the plague monks. These are kind of the mid-tier infantry that are very squishy, but have decent melee stats, and they do have a bonus versus infantry, so they can do... I don't know, they can do okay against Swords Warriors. The weapon strength isn't super amazing, but I don't know, it's good enough, and plus it goes with the theme of being plagues. I don't have many options as plagues. It's either these or the Plague Monk Censer Bearers, which I did bring one of those to kind of complete the core of my Plague infantry. These are the Armor Piercers with the Discourage and Magical Attacks. I'm sorry, Contaminated, but it does kind of the same thing as Discourage. Actually, Discourage is minus 16 leadership, isn't it? This is only minus 10. Anyway, they're pretty expensive, but I think they are also worth the cost as long as they don't get destroyed by a bunch of arrows. That would kind of suck. So that's the main core of my infantry line. For other infantry, I do have 3 Skaven slaves with spears, 1 on that flank and then 2 on this flank. And then for the rest of my army, which is kind of the specialized units, we have 2 rat ogres. They are just generic monstrous infantry that, well, I should say monster infantry that have generic damage because they're just armor piercing, not focused towards infantry or large creatures, but they do have a bulky mass size, so they can kind of pin down dinosaurs. They're not as easy to just kind of run through. And they do have armor piercing damage, which is kind of a big deal against lizards, whose most of their army is armor. Very heavy armor, I might add. So I brought 2 of the rat ogres, then I also brought 2 of the poison wind globadiers, which are the specific anti-large armor piercers with the magical ammunition here, as you can see, with a bonus versus large of 28 and armor piercing damage. These are really cheap anti-large units for the Skaven. Speaking of anti-large, we also have a warp lightning cannon. I don't know if it goes really with the plague theme. I wanted to bring a plague called catapult, but against the lizards, I mean, you kind of got to bring a warp lightning cannon. It is their anti-large, really accurate artillery piece that the Skaven wield, so we brought one of those. And again, I had the 2 poison wind globadiers. And I think the only thing I haven't mentioned yet is the Skaven slave slingers in our leadership. So yeah, I brought a Skaven slave slingers. Specifically, these are very cheap. These are like 200 in cost. But I brought them to try and counter Pterodon Riders, because I think Pterodon Riders are a very good pick against Skaven. My enemy did actually bring Pterodon Riders. There are actually 3 of them over there with the Fire Leech Bolas. Those are the kind of like grenade throwing, really good against Skaven, because it's really good against low armored units. So I brought this one Skaven Slave because Pterodon Riders do not have high armor, so the very, very low missile damage of the Skaven Slaves I'm hoping can kind of ward off Pterodon Riders. So I brought one of those. They're only 200, super cheap. And then for leadership, Lord Skrawk, because this is the Pestilence kind of themed army. So I brought with him the Liber Bubonicus, the Rod of Corruption. Those are his 2 special items. One that does AoE damage versus big, or like multiple units. So like infantry units, that type of stuff, people with a lot of model counts. And then the Rod of Corruption is the one that does mass damage to a single target. So he kind of just has a built-in, what is that? Oh my god, what's that? What's those spells? Oh, I haven't played with those lores in so long now that I can't remember the name of it. How do I not remember the name of the single target in the... Well, let's just put that on the back burner for right now, but you know what spells we're talking about for in the, not the vampire lore, but the death lore. What the hell are those spell names? You don't use these. I don't use this lore for like 3 weeks, and it's just out of my head. I can't believe that. I'm freaking out right now. Anyway, well, that's Lord Skrawk. I also brought for spells, he can bring the Vermintide. I brought Wither, which lowers armor, and then the Blessed with Filth, which is an AoE poison blessing that we can grant on any units in an AoE. Then leading the charge over here, a Helped Abomination to finish off my army. I kind of forgot about this guy because he was walking out in the front. So he is very good armor-piercing, anti-large, and I think you're probably going to see Helped Abominations in a lot of Lizardmen matchups because, well, I think it's a really good unit to bring against them. It's kind of built ideally to kill big dinos. Speaking of the dinos, we actually don't really have any in this battle. We have a core of skink cohorts, which I think my enemy brought because this map is mostly made of water, and skink cohorts actually have the aquatic, so they ignore the penalty that infantry has in water. That's another reason why I'm staying on this island and hiding in front of my warp lightning cannon, because all my infantry units will have a penalty in the water. So that's why I'm kind of just staying up there. Besides the 5 skink cohorts, they brought 3 of the Croxagores, the anti-infantry armor piercing, pretty tanky in terms of armor. Croxagores that we saw in that, I believe it was the last battle that I uploaded, where they were just twirling around and eating people and looked really cool doing it. So I have a new appreciation for the Croxagores just because of that one animation, and I'm being serious. Besides that, the leadership is going to be Lord Mazdamundi on the one dino that they actually do have, which is going to be his unique Stegodon mount. For the spells, we have where are you? Apotheosis, Curse of the Midnight Wind, and the Net of Amatok. My enemy also brought the unique item of the Shield, or Sunburst Standard of Hexawaddle, which is the melee defense and missile resistance. And then they also brought the Shield of the Cold Ones, Banishment, and then the Ruination of Cities, which that is unique to Mazdamundi. And then they actually brought Cav as well. They have 2 units of the Cold One Riders. These are the armor-piercing, kind of mid-tier Cold One Cav. These are the ones that cannot rampage. Which ones are the ones that can rampage then? Because these ones and the Spear version don't rampage, so it must just be the Horned ones that rampage. Which is really, really odd. Because Cold Ones, like for Dark, I'm kind of getting off topic, but the Dark Elf Cold Ones, the Chariots, their Cav, all of those rampage. But this does not. These and the Spear versions, which are Spear and Armor Piercing, don't, but the Horned ones do. Why? Why the distinction? Like, why? Huh. Sorry, I'm kind of confused as to why these are special. And anyway, whatever. They have 2 units of these, one on this flank, and then another one that started on that flank. I think they're eventually going to join the same flank, maybe? And then again, those 3 Pterodon Riders, which are sneaking up behind my lines right now. So let's begin the battle. I actually don't spot these until the very last second, so you're going to see that I'm going to start shifting my Poison Wing Globadiers to try and start throwing at these Pterodons. I'm shifting my Slingers to face their direction as well. I was mostly concerned with what is coming at me, which is a lot of Skinks and then a lot of Crocscores, and I'm actually targeting the Crocscore with our Warp Lightning Cannon. I believe my enemy's trying to snipe my Warp Lightning Cannon right now, so we're just trying to ward them off, doing an okay amount of damage with the slings, I guess. There's just so many of the Skaven Slaves. I'm also keeping my eye on these Cold Ones over there, and I did not even note, I'm not going to be honest, I don't even notice these Cold Ones until they're like right on top of me. Because at this point, seeing these Cold Ones over here and the Pterodon Riders over here as well, my camera is like this during the battle. So I wasn't looking at the minimaps, so these guys actually do sneak up on me really well. Over here, I'm going to put the Hailpit Abomination in front of my army and start running interference with some of these Skink cohorts before they charge in. Right now, I'm backing up my army so that we can get off a charge, but still remain on land is the idea. I'm not just trying to get my Warp Lightning Cannon out in the open, but I will end up actually kind of doing that because I don't charge everybody in. Now you can see that my Warp Lightning Cannon is trying to fire at Lord Mazdamundi, do some damage to him. And there goes my Hailpit Abomination, trying to do some quick damage to the Skink cohorts. Going to run into some Plague Monks there. I forget to charge in these Sensor Bearers because I got distracted again with the Pterodon Riders who came back in, so I'm trying to assign more attack orders with my Skaven Slaves. I believe I'm going to get both Poison Wing Globadiers over there temporarily, but then we're going to switch targets to these Crocscores, which are going to be on my left flank. So we're going to start throwing in against the Crocscores there. There goes the Ruination of Cities on my Skaven Slaves and Plague Monks. Not going to do too much. I'm going to start casting some spells here from Lord Skrawk in a moment. I believe this is Wither. Oh, I didn't get it off. Okay, I thought I was going to cast a Wither back here to lower the armor of the Cold Ones, but I actually got hit by the Banishment. That's what happened. Okay, so Lord Skrawk was knocked off, so which cancels his casting. Lord Mazdamundi getting up here to try and silence the Warp Lightning Cannon, which is fine on me because I still have these 2 Poison Wing Globadiers here and here, so I'm going to switch both of them on firing Lord Mazdamundi. My right flank is holding up pretty well. The Plague Monks can do really, really well against Skink cohorts, even if they are upgraded as these ones are. This Plague Monk is having a tougher time because it is fighting off a Crocscore that is, I don't really have anything to deal with it right now, because everything that I have that is anti-large is going on Mazdamundi to try and snipe him, including my Hailpit Abomination, including, even hell, Lord Skrawk is getting in there, so now we're going to do a Bless with Filth, I believe? Yeah. So now everybody in here is doing poison damage, so we're lowering the effectiveness of Lord Mazdamundi. We're trying to get into melee with these Pterodon Riders and also hit them with these Poison Wing Globadiers because we've done so much damage to Mazdamundi. So now I'm trying to hope that the Hailpit Abomination is going to finish him off, but he can't reach! I kept giving him attack orders, he can't reach! He keeps running into the Warp Lightning Cannon, so Mazdamundi actually is going to get away here and join the Crocscores who managed to rout off one of my Plague Monks on the right flank, and then my Skaven Slaves, I think, already routed? Oh, no, there they are. They are now routing. And then here comes the secondary Cold One, and this is when I was like, oh, shit! Because I didn't see them. So now I'm going to move my Poison Wing Globadiers over here. I'm going to get one of my Rat Ogres over here trying to run interference on these Cold One Riders. The other Rat Ogres over here trying to fend off the Pterodon Riders, and then I'm going to forget about them. Don't tell the Rat Ogres that I forgot about them. I'm going to forget about them there. This Rat Ogre is going to fight off with the Cold Ones. I'm going to get, I think I get some Skaven. Oh, I'm going to summon some Skaven here with the Vermintide and run them in there to try and support the Rat Ogres. Mazdamundi is going to rout, but he will come back. Right now, Skrawk is currently fighting against the Crocscores. He's pretty healthy, so I was like, okay, this is alright. We can fight these Crocscores. It's okay. He can take the damage for a little while. Meanwhile, Cold Ones that came back from routing, they're going to try and finish off one of my Poison Wing Globadiers, which were kind of isolated because, again, I was chasing the Pterodon. Actually, are my Rat Ogres over here? Where's my other Rat Ogre? Oh, they're right here. I think they got pulled into the fight with the cold ones because the cold ones moved near. I don't remember giving them an attack order, I'm just being honest. So we're going to get our Helping Abomination over here as well to try and finish off these croc scores and get into these cold ones. My middle, my Warp Lightning Cannon went down a long time ago, which is okay, I guess. It drew in Lord Mazdamundi, which kind of brought him into the killing fields and my Poison Globadiers from there and there. I am taking a lot of damage from these Pterodon Riders who managed to rout my Skaven Slaves off the field a little while ago, so I don't have access to them anymore. All I have is my Poison Globadiers, but I'm not going to use them on the Pterodons. I think I'm using them on Croxigors now. I'm trying to remember. I think they have one. Yeah, there's another Croxigor unit here in the middle that is currently rampaging. We're going to be summoning some more Clan Rats because my middle is now broken. The Plague Monk Sister Bear is taking so much damage, so we're going to run these summoned Vermintide units into these center of the Skinks and the Croxigors. And again, they're just raining death on me from above because I really can't do much about it. There goes another banishment spell from Lord Mazdamundi, trying to silence my Poison with Globadiers, so we're going to try and do another salvo against him because he got too close. More Skinks coming in as well. I'm trying to get my Helping Abomination to chase Lord Mazdamundi, but he keeps like getting stuck. What are you stuck on now? Like you're barely. Oh, a Croxigor. All right, I understand now. That was so frustrating watching him getting stuck on everything. I didn't notice in the actual battle, but watching him just walk into a Warp Lightning Cannon, I'm like, what are you doing? Just move around it. But here you can see my Rat Ogres are not doing anything because I forgot to sign them any attack orders, but that is okay because now that Mazdamundi is routing, it's going to lead to Chain Route, and oh my goodness, I forgot how fast I have to talk in a 1v1 because so much stuff is happening so quick. Hey, how's it going? So, good game to Hazard there. It's a lot of talking in a 1v1. So yeah, anyway, good game. So I had to stay on that island in that map because if you charge out, especially against the army that my enemy brought, I'm assuming they brought Skinks because they knew what the map was. I was not looking at the map choice when I brought my army, and I'm assuming they did because they knew that Skinks have aquatic. So, yeah, it was a good choice. Good call on bringing the Skinks, and especially the Pterodon Riders, who I think are really good against the Skaven army, at least most of the Skaven army, with their Fire Leech Bolas, I think is what they're called. But so that's why I chose to bring, or just sit back and snipe with my Warp Lightning Cannon. Now, the enemy did not have to charge me, so eventually I would have charged, because there was, you know, we could just stare at each other, but luckily for me, the enemy did charge. I thought they would because they were, you know, playing the lizards, and that's kind of what the lizards do. So I kind of got lucky there, because if I was drawn out to the water, that would have been a rough fight, because most of my units would have been suffering penalties to their attack and defense, I think, if they had to fight in the water. So yeah, terrible map for Skaven, I think, that map specifically. You have to fight like island to island if you would play Skaven. Anyway, for kills here, you can see we got a ton of kills on one of our Plague Monks, who I'm sure killed a bunch of Skinks, and really besides that, my kills don't look super great. But it kind of looks like damage was kind of spread around evenly. Helping Abomination got in some. Skaven Slaves, unfortunately, did not actually bring down any of the Pterodons, which is the reason why I brought them. But hell, they're only 200 in cost, so who cares? Poison Globadiers did help focus down Croxigors, and more importantly, Mazdamundi when he went charging into the Warplight Cannon, which I can understand why you would want to shut that down. It's a very big threat to Mazdamundi, but so were the Poison Winds that I had covering it. Kind of why I bring them. I think these are awesome. Like, a guaranteed choice, or should be a guaranteed choice if you fight against a lizard player, because they're really good. Anti-large and armor piercing is exactly what you need. Again, with that, the Rat Ogres I think are essential just because of the mass that they have. Most of your army, you can get a ton of Skaven, but if you can't physically protect the special units behind your lines, like these Globadiers, meaning that the dinosaurs of the lizards can just go right through Skaven Slaves. They can go right through like any infantry you bring. They can't really, kind of like what happened to Croxigor, how my big unit was kind of dragging because it was being blocked. That's why I think the Rat Ogres are good for multiple reasons against the lizards, because they can actually physically stop dinosaurs. They have armor piercing damage. They have really good, well, pretty good melee stats to get through the dinos melee stats, melee defense specifically. So yeah, I think these two units are probably going to be almost a guaranteed pick every time I play against lizards. Helping Abomination, I think it's great against lizards, but I don't see that as much of need, especially since we have Warp Lightning Cannon, so you can go like Warp Lightning Cannon heavy. Hell, you can get like 3 Helping Abominations against the lizards. Shit, yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm onto something there. Maybe you should just get like 5 Helping Abominations against lizards. I mean, hell, they're going to bring a bunch of dinos that are great at killing Skaven. Why not bring a bunch of Helping Abominations? Anyway, so for my enemy, 86 kills on Mazdamundi. A lot of good kills against my rats with all of these spells that they had. The Cold One Riders, they kind of got shut down by my Rat Ogres, I guess, and my Skaven Slaves with spears. Croxagores, this one's probably the one that was getting shut up on its way in, but the other two still did pretty well. And then the Pterodons, I think, also did really well. They sniped, I think, my Warp Lightning Cannon, my Skaven Slaves, Plague Monks Sensor Bearers, I think. So they all did really well. And the Skaven, the Skink cohorts upgraded to rank 9, did manage to get some decent amount of kills. Like, they kind of held their own against my Plague Monks. I didn't notice that they were upgraded when I fought the battle. I only noticed when the replay, and I was like, how the hell did these Skink cohorts do that well against Plague Monks? Plague Monks are exceptional low armor killers. I should say killers against low armor. But yeah, the Skink upgraded. They held their own against Plague Monks for a long time. But anyway, I've been talking a lot. Let's go into the cinematic view. This is such a cool artillery unit. The fact that they have two little warp block engineers in here. The person spotting for it is awesome.
Quick! Our tail's yours. That's good.
Ooh, good shot.
Yes.
But yeah, like I love the spotters for these artillery pieces. I love them. Look at them. They're so cool.
Hurry! Hyson, hurry! Onward! Then
There's Mazamundi. And this is when the Poison Globadiers go to town, man.
Sparrows of Blade! Fight! Seek! Yes! I agree. Back underground!
Damn Skrull! Show him his boss, man. I'm curious, has anyone had much luck with the Cold One Cav? I like have no faith in this Cav. They just seem to die. Like, even though they have 90 armor, they just die. There's not that many of them. There's only 36 instead of 45. I really do like these units. I love those Pterodon Riders.
Right on a tar. Your desire.
And there we go. I hope you enjoyed the battle, everybody. Again, good game to my opponent, Hazard. And I will see you all next time. Take care.